Shall I start? Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to one and all present here. Hope you all are doing well. I'm Razina Khanam, your virtual host for today's session. On behalf of HackBMU organizing team, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to another pre-hackathon session at HackBMU edition 4.0. Elevating the level of hackathon that has a legacy of providing a welcoming and supporting environment to all participants to develop their skills. This year, by going virtual and utilizing the power of communication technology, HackBMU 4.0 will host a series of workshops and tech talks throughout the month of March and April. These workshops will allow HackBMU participants to gain in-depth knowledge about new technologies, technical communities, and more. To know more, visit us at www.hackbmu.tech. Without further ado, let's get started with today's session. Well, you must be wondering what Web3 exactly is. Web3 is a set of protocols led by blockchain that intend to reinvent how the internet is wired in the backend, combining the logic of the internet with the logic of the computer. Coming to QuikNode, it is basically a Web3 developer platform used by teams big and small to build and scale blockchain applications, access Ethereum, Bitcoin, BSC, Polygon, and XDAI networks in seconds, and get tools to ship the best version of your D app. In this session, we will learn about some basic concepts of blockchain, how things works, and how one can use QuikNode to make their blockchain journey much simpler. For the workshop, we have with us our esteemed speaker, Mr. Sahil Sen, to enlighten you about the topic. Mr. Sahil Sen is a senior developer, evangelist at QuikNode, and web developer at Educate Learning. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started with our session. Mr. Sahil, the virtual stage is officially all yours. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, Razina, for that amazing intro. You just missed one part that I used to work at Educate, but now I am a developer evangelist at QuickNode, and that's fine. Okay. So let's move ahead with the workshop. So hi guys, I'm Sahil Sen. I'm developer evangelist at QuickNode. Today I'll be teaching you about blockchain, few basic concepts of blockchain, how you can use QuickNode, what QuickNode is, and we'll also make a small dApp using QuickNode and HTML. Okay, so let me share my screen quickly and let's get started with the workshop. Okay, so first let me explain to you what blockchain is. So as you can see, blockchain is basically a network of databases on multiple computers distributed all around the world. This is a very generic and very basic definition of blockchain, but let me simplify this for you. Let me break this into a very simple language for you. So blockchain, you can see it as a big ledger, a big book which is shared throughout the network. For example, banks usually maintain a ledger of their transactions, of the money which is going out, of the money which is coming in, and it is accessible only by that bank particularly, not by everyone or not by every stakeholder of the bank. You can view your transactions, you cannot view other person's transactions or what the bank is actually doing or how much worth that bank is having, which is a very centralized form of information sharing and information storing. But with blockchain, that particular ledger or that particular book is shared, or you can say is propagated throughout the network. So in that way, everyone on the network, each and every person on the network can see what is actually happening on the blockchain, and no one can manipulate that. For example, if you are maintaining a centralized ledger or if you are maintaining a centralized record of something, that can be manipulated by that centralized body, or that can be manipulated by anyone who hacks into it. But with blockchain, this cannot be done. As I mentioned, that it is shared throughout the network. So even if someone tries to manipulate a particular copy of that ledger, the other the other stakeholders or the other peers on that blockchain can verify that no, this isn't the actual copy or this isn't the right copy, and they can update the actual copy and discard that manipulated copy. So blockchain gives you this freedom, blockchain gives you security, and anything which goes on blockchain is basically immutable. You cannot change it because it is propagated throughout the network and everyone on that network knows what it is. So yeah, that blockchain is. And in a blockchain, every computer on a network has a copy of previous transaction. Each block contains a timestamp and a link to previous blocks, so they actually form a chain of blocks. So as I mentioned that each and everyone has the ledger. So the ledger gets updated whenever there's a new transaction and whenever there's a new block. So whenever you send a transaction, they get added to the block by the miners. They get approved by the miners first, and then they get added to the blocks, and then the block is mined, and then your transaction is completed. So now now you may wonder that how QuickNode helps us in blockchain development or in Web3 development. Yeah. So let me first explain you about Web3, what Web3 is. So Web 0 was the basic static websites, just the basic information without any videos or without any dynamic website, without any dynamic content. And then came Web 1.0, which had some dynamic websites, which had some scalable websites. Then the use of JavaScript started, and then came Web 2.0, which we are using today, the internet which we are using today, which has all the dynamic content, dynamic media, and videos, audios, and everything. And then there's Web 3, which is said to be the future of internet. So it is said that Web 3 will be built on uh, machine learning, AI, and it will be decentralized. So how can you achieve decentralization without having to worrying about uh, the security purposes, without having to worry about the manipulation things? So this is where blockchain comes in. Blockchain provides you complete and throughout decentralization without having to worry about security or any of that thing. So let me explain you now how QuickNode helps you with Web3 development. So to develop anything on a particular blockchain, you have to run that blockchain's node, because as I said, blockchain is a big ledger and it is distributed throughout the network. So it is distributed via nodes. So there are this different nodes of a blockchain which are connected with each other, and whenever a transaction comes in, it is propagated to other nodes by a particular node. So if, for example, if you want to develop on an Ethereum blockchain, you need to run an Ethereum node, and running a node can be a really hectic task, because first of all you need a really powerful infrastructure, really powerful hardware for it. And after you, even if, so say if you got the hardware, you have to sync the whole blockchain on that hardware. And Ethereum blockchain for now, like, it is really big, and it may require weeks and even month if the internet connection is not that much strong, or your input devices are not that much strong. So say if you, even if you uh, sync the whole blockchain and you were successful to launch your node, but it cannot be always reliable, because nodes propagate and nodes process a very huge and like process consuming data. So it can fail your hardware, it can go out of sync, which is not nice, because whenever you're working with blockchain, you need your nodes to be always on sync with the latest blocks, because you need that information from the latest blocks to work with blockchain. So what QuickNode does is, is helping developers by giving them access to blockchains within minutes. So we currently support Ethereum, Bitcoin, Binance Smart Chain, XDAI, and Polygon, which was previously known as Matic chains. So you can simply go to QuickNode and launch your nodes within few clicks, rather than weeks, as I mentioned that your nodes require weeks or months to sync. QuickNode has a global network of very powerful nodes. So whenever you launch a new node using QuickNode API, it fetches the data from that powerful network. QuickNode also provides GUI for your node management, where you can see metrics, where you can see your billing information, where you can set your security parameters into your node. You'll also get an analytics tab where you can see what kind of calls you are making the most and what kind of calls you are making the less. So some calls may require more processes, uh, more method calls. So you can weigh them and you can use them accordingly. We also have a guide section where we provide weekly where we publish weekly guides, so you can go there and learn Web3 development. So let me show you how you can launch a new node at QuickNode. So this is a new website. We just launched it yesterday. So you simply have to enter your details over here and create a free account. And so let me sign in. I have my details already put in. So after you sign into your account, you will be presented with a dashboard, something similar to this. But whenever you are signing in for the first time, there will be obviously no nodes present in your account. But as this is our internal account, it has quite a lot of nodes. So you simply have to go to create node, then select a plan which is suitable for you, which is suitable for your application. We have a launch plan with which you get 7 days of free trial. You won't be charged anything for 7 days, and so I'll recommend. I'm assuming most of your students, so I'll recommend this plan for you. So you can select this plan, and then you can select the chain from the available number of chains. We have Ethereum, BTC, XDAI, Polygon, then Binance Smart Chain, and Optimism. Optimism is in beta state right now, so I won't recommend that. But you should like start your development always with Ethereum, and you should choose a test net. So what a test net is, you may ask. So the main net is the main Ethereum blockchain on which the production applications are deployed. So to send any transaction or to write any data on the Ethereum mainnet, you need to pay some fees. So what is a fee, or which is called gas fee in Ethereum? So consider Ethereum blockchain as a su- global distributed supercomputer. So the distributed supercomputer. The resources for these supercomputers are provided by the node runners or by the miners who are giving their hardware for the transactions or for the blockchain to run. So whenever you want to write a data onto a blockchain, or whenever you want to modify a data on blockchain, update a data on blockchain, you are using some processing power of that supercomputer. So for using that processing power, you have to pay some fee, and the unit which is used to measure that processing power which you used is called gas. And for that gas, a price is fixed depending on the congestion in the network, depending on the number of transactions in the network. And for that gas unit, you have to pay some fee which is called gas fee. So I'll recommend you, while learning or while getting acquainted with the Ethereum blockchain, you should always start with a testnet, which are Ropsten, Covan, and Rinkeby testnet. So these are testnets which are used for development purposes, and you can get ETH for these testnets very easily, which is not the real ETH, but which can be used for development. So then you can select your network. So let's say we selected Robson, and then we can continue to billing. You can enter your payment details and then simply create a node. You won't be charged anything for the first 7 days, but we require payment details for safeguarding our platform to keep the spammers away and everything like that. So let's start with building our own QuickNode Explorer. So what a QuickNode Explorer is? QuickNode Explorer is basically a QuickNode Explorer is basically a decentralized exchange, or you can say decentralized explorer. I'm sorry, not exchange, a decentralized explorer. So what an explorer is? So QuickNode Explorer is a blockchain explorer, Ethereum explorer, which will give you some information about the Ethereum blockchain, and it shows the latest 10 blocks of the Ethereum blockchain. It will fetch the block number, it will fetch the block hash, it will fetch the timestamp, and stuff like that. You can, this is an open source project. You can fork this project and make your changes. I'll provide the slides after the workshop, so you can fork this project and you can make your changes. You can, and then you can build your own explorer based on this. So first you'll have to clone this repository using git, and after cloning this repository, which I have it right here, so it will look something like this. So this has the image resources, which is the logo which I used on the web page. This is the main index.html file which I have opened over here. So yeah, this is a pretty basic boilerplate HTML code, as you can see. So we have all the basic tags, HTML tag, head tag, all the basic meta tags. This is the title, and I'm importing the bootstrap for basic styling purposes, and these are the basic CSS. And yeah, so the this is the table for which table which we are creating for our explorer. So as I mentioned, we'll have block number, we'll have block hash, which is the hash of the mind block. Will have gas use, as I mentioned earlier. There you need to pay some gas for the particular transaction to get approved, or for the particular transaction to get go through and added to the blockchain. So the gas used will show the total gas which was used into that particular block, and there's a timestamp. So timestamp is the time at which that block was mined. And here we are importing jQuery, we are importing some normal JS, and the main thing is here, this part, we are importing Web3.js. So Web3.js uh, is a it, JavaScript library to work with and to interact with Ethereum blockchain. You can use Web3.js to query Ethereum blocks. You can use Web3.js to get information from Ethereum blockchain and stuff like that. So what I'll explain, I'll simply explain what we're doing here. So you'll have to add your QuickNode URL over here, which we got from our QuickNode website. So I'll explain the other part till that opens. So here we are instantiating our Web3 provider, which using which we can use our QuickNode. This is our QuickNode. We are giving that QuickNode to the provider variable, and we are instantiating a Web3 provider instance, and we are giving it to Web3. And using that of Web3, we are calling get block number. Okay, so this will get the latest block number of the Ethereum blockchain, and we are running a for loop which will which will minus the which will minus a single number from the latest block, and it will run till 10. So it will get the 10 latest blocks of the blockchain, and using that information, we are using a get block call. So it will get that block, and using the get block call, we are extracting information from that block. So as you can see, we are the latest Ethereum block is this. So it will print the latest Ethereum block number, and then it will we are getting the block number using the block number call, and then we are getting block hash using the block hash call. We are using block timestamp call to get the timestamp of the block at the time at which it was mined. We are using block gas use to see the total amount of gas used into that particular block before it is mined. And then we are printing it into our Explorer table. And that's it for the code. And this is basically some simple, or I would say, you don't need to worry about this. This is just for decoration purposes. This is you'll see this is the particles which are there in the background of the Explorer. So just simply show you how you can copy your node URL. So for example, I click on this node. Okay, that node is inactive now. I'm sorry. Yeah. So in the place of this particular node, you'll see a text whenever you clone the repo. You'll see a text something like add your QuickNode here, and you have to replace that text with your node URL, which will look something like this. See, this is your node URL. You can click over here and copy that URL and paste it paste it into your QuickNode Explorer code, replacing this part. Add your QuickNode URL here and save the file, then open index.html. You'll be presented with a screen something like this. It may take some while for the blocks to load because it is fetching the actual data from the blockchain. So these are the latest blocks from the blockchain. So you can see this is the block number, this is the block hash of that particular block number, this is the total amount of gas used in this block, and this is the timestamp which you can convert into uh, hours, minute, and seconds format. So let's check if this is the actual block number. To check that, you can go to etherscan.io. As you can see, the block number is 12101,670, and we have 12101,667. So the blockchain works very fast. So till the time we loaded this Explorer, the blocks got updated. So we have this as the latest block, which is 1 minute ago, which is the time when we loaded our Explorer. And within the time we loaded the Explorer and .io, there were already 3 more blocks mined. So you can see how fast the blockchain works.
I think the speaker is facing some technical glitch. Let's wait for again 2 more minutes. You can continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Ah,
sorry.
it's okay. You can continue.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you please confirm till what part it was connected?
Yes, from this part itself.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a tool called Etherflow. You can let me show you how it works. So let me grab a QuickNode URL, which I showed you in the previous step how to do that. So you simply have to paste your QuickNode URL here, and it will get all the details about your URL first. Yeah. So it will show you if you're connected using HTTP or WSS. So we are using a HTTPS URL, so it will show connected via HTTP. And so you can see this part is green. And if you would have used your WebSocket URL, this part would have been green, and it will show the latest block of the blockchain and the node client version which it is using. You can select from two libraries, Web3.js, which I mentioned earlier and used in our project earlier. You can also see there's a different library called ethers.js. So ethers.js is uh, another library, another JavaScript library to use or to interact with the Ethereum blockchain. It is a lightweight library as compared to Web3.js, and it's very useful, and it's getting quite popular with new projects and new developers who are building on top of Ethereum blockchain. So yeah, so you can see there are these different calls. We saw ETH block number call in our project. So let's try to do that. Let's try to send a request to the Ethereum blockchain and see what happens. You can see we got a response that the latest block is this. So this, what this does is, what this did is, it sent it it sent a request to the Ethereum blockchain for latest block number using ETH block number, and we got a response, and in response we got the latest block number. So you can also get a sample code for this. So this is a JavaScript code which you can use in your applications, which you can use in your decentralized application. You won't have to write the code from scratch for this particular call. You can simply copy this and paste it in your application. You can get code samples for any call. For example, get balance. So for get balance, you will have to paste a Ethereum address in it, So this is a MetaMask. It's an Ethereum wallet. So I'm copying my Ethereum address, which is my Ethereum wallet address, and I'm pasting it over here, and it will send request to the node to get balance of this particular address. So let's wait for some time. Yeah. This is the balance of that particular address, of my particular address, and this is in way. It's not in Ethereum, mind you. It's in way, which is the smallest unit of measure in Ethereum. So as in Bitcoin we have Satoshi, in in Ethereum we have way, which is the smallest unit of measure of Ethereum. So we'll have to convert this into ETH. So we'll search for way to ETH converter, and this is the Ethereum unit converter. So let's paste this over here, and we'll have our answer in ETH. So the balance of that, of my wallet, is 0.00125 ETH, which we can check over here, which is, yeah, which is almost, which is equivalent to 0.0013. This is the rounded up version. So yeah, this is the exact value of ETH which I have in my wallet. And you can also copy code for this, which is over here. So yeah, you can play around with Etherflow and learn about different calls and make your own applications based on it. You'll get the sample codes using this button. And we also have a Discord where there are veteran developers, where there are current developers who are building great things on Ethereum blockchain, Binance blockchain, Binance Smart Chain, and Bitcoin blockchain, XDAI blockchain, Polygon. So you can join our Discord, and I'm always there. I'm always available on Discord to help people around, to help users around, to help developers around. If you have any query, any question, you can simply pop into the Discord and ask your doubt there. Either me or other developers will be happy and readily available to help you there. And you can refer to our guides, where we publish weekly content to help developers and to help newcomers in Ethereum and in Bitcoin to get acquainted with the blockchain technology and see how different thing works. You can learn how to write smart contracts. You can learn how to use different Ethereum library based on the choice of programming language which you code in. We also have a blog running in where we post different updates about QuickNode, where we post the current market trends, etc. So yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter, and do check the guide section. It will really help you guys get started with the Ethereum development. So I guess this is it from my side, and if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer that.
Yes, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask Mr. Sahil Sen by writing it in the chat box.
Yeah, Harshit. So, as I mentioned, blockchain is completely decentralized and it cannot be manipulated. So, the security part and the shared ledger, the shared information part, is the major advantage of blockchain. So, you can simply understand it by, like, for example, the data which goes on blockchain, it cannot be manipulated by anyone. It is shared with all of the peers. So yeah, security is the major advantage of the blockchain and decentralization. So uh, this is a very good question, Nipun, and this is asked a lot of time. But there is a lot of scope in blockchain because there are very few, considering the amount of developers and considering the amount of programmers we have all around the world. There are very few blockchain developers available right now, and there is a huge scope if you get into this industry right now, because you can say blockchain is in the state right now which internet was in 1990s. So I would say there's a huge scope if you learn blockchain and get into the ecosystem right now. So Shivang has asked, will Web3 overtake the normal internet? So current internet which we are using is Web 2.0, and Web 3 is intended to not overtake, but to replace, or but to improve the current internet which we are using right now, which is a more centralized form of network, which is a more centralized form of internet. So Web 3 will be more decentralized, and it is intended to replace and improve the current internet, not overtake. It will improve the abilities of the current internet, it will improve the security prospects of the current internet. So that, yeah, that's there.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our session. On behalf of HackBMU 4.0 organizing team, I thank Mr. Sahil Sen for taking out time from his extremely busy schedule to join us here. We would like to express our gratitude toward all our sponsors who are making all this possible. HackBMU 4.0 is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, Dave Folio and Coding Ninjas, our gold sponsors, Matic, Curtis, and Desos, our workshop and coding partners, CodeShip and Unacademy, partners JetBrains, Sketch, Rosenfeld, Balsamic, No Starch Press, Taskade, Sashido, EcoAR, One Password, Azure, Egghead.io, The Codex, Code Asylums, Testmail, Badelo.in, Give My Certificate, and Inmovido. Our digital learning partner, Board Infinity, our media partners, Cryptopolitan and ED Times. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Don't forget to fill the feedback form for the session to receive your certificate. The link for the same is in the chat box. Once again, thank you, Mr. Sahil Sen, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Hack BMU and the organizers, for having me.